Shalom, give all praise, Yahbashim Yashab, Bashim Rakakadash, the waters to the elders and apostles for the edification and knowledge. The water Yahbashim Yashab, put in the spirit of the elders and apostles. Regarding this truth and knowledge, learn this truth and knowledge. Call Yahbashim Yashab, Bashim Rakakadash, give all praise, Yahbashim Yashab, Bashim Rakakadash. This is kind of impromptu from scriptures. Talking about, let's go to Matthew 5 and 25. Agree with thine adversaries quickly. Agree with thine adversaries quickly, while thou art in the way with them. And that relates to ones of authority, man. And at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So it's pretty much a chain of command what they're going to do to you, man. This relates to specifically the left-hand side of that sword, man. Part of that sword is the police, man. You know, this one is particularly with Jake's, you know what I mean, because they're doing a lot of crazy things, man. Breaking and stuff, doing a whole lot of, you know, vandalizing, breaking, destroying stuff, you know what I mean. And, you know, Job 4 and 7a, whoever perished being innocent were the righteous cut off. Though wickedness reap the same, man. The one who reap iniquity and wickedness both reap the same, man. You know, and so whoever perished being innocent, man. So Jake is not innocent, man. You know, so he does a lot of things he shouldn't be doing, man. And sometimes he puts himself in a position, man, where he has to deal with, for example, the police in a negative way, man. So the scripture here is pretty much using wisdom for the ones who have authority to do certain things, man. Go to 9 and 13, man. Keep thee far from the man that has the power to kill. So you keep away from the one who has the power to kill. Why? Because he has that power. The earth has been given to the hands of the wicked. And by the sword he shall take peace from the earth with the great sword, because his blessing in his hands is that sword, man. Keep thee far from the man that has the power to kill, man. So shalt thou not doubt the fear of death, and if thou come into him, make no fault. So when you come to him, you pretty much be in the correct manner, because he has a position. He's in a position to do certain things that could be beneficial or not to you, man. Unless he take away thy life presently, man, because he can take away your life if you make you know, you do anything stupid, man. Because realistically, the power has been given to him. He has that authority, man. Remember that thou goest in the midst of the snares which are traps. Thou walkest upon the battlements of the city. So to Jake out there, which AKA called the N-word, and not the derogatory one, the ninja one. I guess that's another name for, you know, the other derogatory one. You know, and that's another lesson itself, because that's a part of that byword, man, relating to Deuteronomy 28 and 37. But, you know, it goes to your choices, man. It goes to your choices, what you do. And that's why Jake gets caught up, for example, with police in a negative way, because the choices he makes, man. Then they be crying on the news, he was a good boy, he's innocent. No, he ain't innocent, man. In the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yashah, no man is innocent, man. Let me get Job 4 and 7 real quick. Job 4 and 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent. No man has perished being innocent. Our righteousness is as filthy rags, and where were the righteous cut off? Number 8. Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity, which is sin and wickedness, and sin is part of that wickedness, reap the same. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils they are consumed. Pretty much the judgment, man. Go to Ezekiel. This is impromptu through the Spirit. You see Jake doing a lot of things. Some girls vandalizing a restaurant, doing all kinds of the foul stuff, man. It's embarrassment to their kind, embarrassment collectively to the nation, man. But, you know, they under the curses, man. And part of that is the debauchery and buffoonery you're going to see. That's part of the curses, man, relating to Deuteronomy 28, man. Son of man, prophesies and say, thus saith the Lord, a sword sharpened, also refurbished. Refurbished is to pretty much redefine, man. Revitalize, man. Make it like new, man. Let's look up furbished. Furbished, to give a fresh look to something old and shabby. Renovate. Brighten up a weapon by polishing it. That weapon is that sword, man, because he is that sword on the left-hand side. Part of that sword on the left-hand side is law enforcement. That's part of that structure on the left-hand side as the Lord's pretty much beating stick, man. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we make mirth? So should you make mirth, laugh, make light of it? Because it's a sword, man. Its purpose is to do certain things. It contempteth the rod, my son, as every tree. And he giveth to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is refurbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. And the slayer is the spoiler, the one in power, man. Earth has been given to the hands of the wicked, man. So that refurbished, that renovated, that redefined, repolished types weapon, man. And that's the Lord's left-hand side, man. And that's the left-hand side that's going to go on 2/3 and majority of these nations, man. That's going to be the beating stick of Yahweh Shem Yashab, man. Using what? That sword, man. Because the sword is his blessing, man. Revelation 6:4, he's on the red horse who take peace from the earth with the great sword. How are you going to take peace of the earth? By the sword that's going to be in his hand. He's going to use, man. Revelation 12:12, he's going to come in great wrath. Knowing, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil's going to come in great wrath, knowing but he has what? A short time. Isaiah 59:19, he's going to come like that flood, man. Like that roaring lion, 1 Peter 5:8. Be watchful, be sober. The devil, your adversary is a roaring lion, waiting whom he may devour, man. So he's going to come in a certain manner. So that's part of that Ezekiel 21, that's that refurbished sword. He is that sword, man. Because the sword is his blessing, man. For the earth is given to the hands of him, and of the wicked, because that's the power, man. Through his hands is that sword, man. The one who take peace from the earth, man. The one who's the hammer of the earth, that tool and instrument of cruelty, man. to implement punishment, that scourge, man. So an example of that with Jake's, with the police. So the Lord's executing that. Go to Romans 13, talk about submit yourselves to the governments, man. Because if you do read a little bit of it, Shalak, and for Jake's, man, Ephesians 5:15 and 16, be circumspect to look around, be watchful, be vigilant, be alert, be circumspect and not as fools as wise, redeeming the times because the days are evil. So the days we're in is evil, man. Bad and perilous times, man. That's the times we're in, man. We in those times now, man. So you have to be circumspect. You have to watch how you operate and move, what you do. And there's spirits around here. There's things, there's spirits, because we're dealing with spiritual warfare, man. Wickedness in high places, man. Ephesians 6 and 10, man. People acting weird, person placing things, you know what I mean? So we in very complex times, man. Number 13, we'll read a little bit of 13. Let every soul be subject to the higher powers, for there is no power but God. The powers of that are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive themselves in damnation. That's what Jake do. He resists the authority by doing something stupid. Sirach 9 and 13 can happen. Also, Matthew 5 and 25, man. And that's why you see Jake in very precarious or quagmire type predicaments, man. You know what I mean? Very complex predicaments, man. Because pretty much how he operates and how he moves, man. The body language, what he do and how he do it, man, can dictate the outcome, man, whether in a good or bad way, man. Number 3, the rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of Yahweh to thee for good. But if thou do which is evil, Shalak, if thou do which is evil, be afraid. So you do contrary to what you're supposed to do, because they're set in the position of authority, man. So you do contrary to that. If you go opposite of, you know, they help enforce that law and order, man. Without law and order, it's chaos and tyranny, man. You know, so they part of that law and order. So you go contrary to that, there's consequences, damnation, and pretty much penalty, going to jail, or even worse, your life, man. And Jake don't understand that, man, because he lacks the wisdom. That's why the Lord called his people stupid. Hosea 4 and 6, Jeremiah 4 and 22. For my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because thou rejected knowledge, also reject thee. Thou make no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, also forget thy children. For my people are sottish, they have not known me. They're wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge, man. They are wise to do evil, and evil comes as a consequence because of that, man. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. So he beareth not the sword. That's his blessing, man. He uses that sword with his eyes closed with precision, man. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. So he's the minister for Yahweh Shem Yahshua on that left-hand side. You do good, it's cool. You do bad, not so good. This is something short. I hope it helps. This is Brother Zayab. Give all praise Yahweh Shem Yahshua, Shem Rakakadash. Shalom.